Can you tell us about the next season?
Okay. Hey everybody, it's Francisco. We have the best possible news early in the week. So, what happened is HBO dropped a promo for Game of Thrones Season 8 and all their other prestige series they are preparing, and the first happened for 2019. There were a lot of reports from the visual effects department that they were going to be potential delays. They thought they were going to miss the MS cutoff right after that, like really late Sunday night after I posted my video. HBO came out. It made an official clarification about when they would be airing episodes, and it's way earlier than what these visual effects people were talking about said. So we've got to talk about that. We also learn more about the prequel series when they'll probably be dropping footage and the Winds of Winter release date. So I'll explain that stuff at the end of the video. We will talk about season 8 first. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos and notifications. So here's what happened. After all these big news sites were reporting the Game of Thrones might be delayed, we might be getting a much later uh, than we thought. So naturally, to be expected, people started freaking out. So of course, HBO got really pissed off. So what happened is they use Entertainment Weekly, and it's a bit of a mouthpiece for information that they want to convey. Like it's basically like, please post this comment on the trailer when you post it on your website. The full statement reads, Game of Thrones returns for its final six episodes that they will air during the first half of 2019. There had been reports over the weekend claiming that the show returns uh, had been delayed, quote unquote, to mid 2019, making it not eligible for Emmys until 2020. Rest assured, first half of 2019 means exactly that. If HBO expects the show will air all of its episodes in time for the 2019 Emmys eligibility cutoff. So that is really awesome that they came out and said that. I'm happy that they clarified, but the most important line of dialogue is that statement, and that statement is that the show will air all of its episodes before Emmys cutoff, and Emmys cutoff is May 31st. There are 6 episodes total in season 8. If the visual effects supervisors and the visual effects supervisor said that he thought that they would miss the Emmys cutoff because visual effects are taking too long to complete. That means for HBO, they'll probably drop it at the latest possible date that allows them to air all the episodes before the May 31st cutoff, which would be April 22nd, 2019. They probably just fired that effect supervisor that saw they were going to delay season 8. So too bad for him. The first official casualty of the season. So yeah, that's really awesome. But here's what here's the really cool Easter egg in that particular April 22nd day, because it is the 8th year anniversary of the weekend of that pilot. So I don't think there's any kind of grand conspiracy. I think it's just a coincidence if they finished episodes earlier than we thought. They would drop them sooner because of the way visual effects are going and the fact that they waited longer to film and they spent longer filming each episode. It just takes them longer in production. Most of the earlier seasons actually aired in early to mid-April. It wasn't really until season 6 and season 7 that we started to see more delays, and a lot of that just has to do with the decreased scale and the fact that they weren't adapting the books anymore. It's a lot easier to adapt the TV show when you still have material left to adapt. So, like, they were basically just taking portions of the book and turning that into TV episodes. When they got to season 6, they had to start making up more original material, and that's a lot harder to do, even though George R. Martin's sort of told them his outline for how the characters will be panning out and give them an idea for what the ending of the story was going to be. This new report from HBO about the April Day just drives a lot more with what Maisie Williams said a little while ago about them having a spring release date instead of a summer release date. It also brings what Sir Davos was saying at the beginning of the filming, right after they got the scripts.
I do have some news that nobody else knows. The reason being, I only got this news. What day is today? What's today? Friday?
No, it's
No, it's
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
So we got this. I got an email on Wednesday. Okay, let me tell you what's happening to me next week. I have to leave here on Sunday, and then I get in a car and I go straight up to Belfast, where we are having the first. Do you call it table read or read through?
Table read.
We have the first table read on Sunday of 3 episodes on Sunday, and then on Monday we read the next 3. And that's Monday. Then we rehearse for the rest of that week with our 2 of the directors. There's 3 directors for the final 6, and then we start filming. I think officially it's either the 16th or the 19th of October. So what's that? 3 weeks time?
Yeah.
3 weeks time we start.
You gotta love Sir Davos. He's kind of like the Tom Hong and Mark Ruffalo of Game of Thrones, just accidentally giving away information about the show that he's not supposed to. When I posted that trailer video a couple of days ago, I also talked about the filming dates for the Long Night prequel series. So they'll start filming in February, which is awesome news because that means that they'll also be able to hit that April spring release date for 2020. I'm still seeing a lot of comments about people not having any idea of what's going on with this Long Night prequel series. People think that there is not going to be any more Game of Thrones after season 8 is done. So we'll do some more prequel videos as we get more information about that. But just a reminder, the prequel series will be the ancestors of the characters in present day, so it's gonna be set 10,000 years in the past, meaning the only potential crossover characters set 10,000 years could be the three-eyed raven or Bran, because they can see into the past, even though I'm not expecting them to cross over to that series. It'll cover the mythical Long Night is talked about in the Citadel, and Old Man's Tales, I Spider Biggest Hounds. That's what we're talking about. What they are probably gonna do is to release the first teaser for that after the season 8 finale airs, just to strike while the iron is hot, while they have 20 plus million people watching that finale, just to get everybody hyped up for the 7 or 8 more years of Game of Thrones. Because you have to remember that even though they say like 2 million or so average people watch Game of Thrones episodes, uh, there were like 20 to 25 million people watching Game of Thrones episodes last year. Most of those 25 or so million people who watch Game of Thrones statistically only subscribe to HBO when they are airing new Game of Thrones episodes. Uh, that's hundreds of millions of dollars on subscription money that they own. So HBO just want to let all those people know not to cancel their subscriptions after the season 8 finale, because we have a shiny new Game of Thrones series that's coming really soon next spring. So yeah, I just expect them to start pushing that. Starting next summer after the air of season 8 finale. So I will thoroughly do videos when we find out new information about it. There was a new report about Winds of Winter potentially being released next year, as we all know from our foreign language translator that works on the Song of Ice and Fire titles for the publisher. He was saying that based on the page count the George R. R. Martin mark had been submitting to the publisher, he expected fully that they would be releasing the book sometime next year. Nobody take that with a grain of salt, but he is somebody that's associated with the publisher that translate Song of Ice and Fire books into foreign languages in Europe. So the call is coming from inside the castle. It's a little more legit than just your average speculator, but it really does release next year. I wouldn't expect that, so to a little bit later in the year, but it looks like what we'll have Winds of Winter to bridge the gap between the end of the main series and the beginning of the prequel series. So when we get that, I will do more book videos, and we do have the Fire and Blood book that's coming out later this year, November. I'll do videos for that too when it comes out. In the meantime, leave all your requests for Game of Thrones videos in the comments. Thank you.